Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Before we start, due to the potential complexity of matters this evening and moving between public and private discussions, the meeting will not be live streamed on YouTube this evening to avoid any commercially sensitive information accidentally being broadcast. Instead, the meeting will be recorded via Teams and published to our YouTube channel as soon as possible tomorrow. For the benefit of those watching this later, members of the committee are present in the chamber, and these members will be voting on proposals this evening. Other members of the council who are also present in the chamber or participating via MS Teams can take part in any discussions, ask questions, but cannot vote. Please turn your telephones off. Your attention is drawn to agenda item 1, which sets out the guidance on how meetings will be conducted. Before we start with the formal business, we will confirm attendance of voting members by doing a roll call. Alison, would you like to start?
Yeah, this will be in alphabetical order. If you can just confirm you're present when I call your name. Councillor Athol.
Yep.
Present. Councillor Bell. Present. We've had apologies from Councillor Bishop, substitute by Councillor Dean.
Present.
Councillor Brown.
Present.
Councillor Cannon.
Present.
Councillor Chapman.
Present.
Councillor Cope.
Present.
Councillor Hickmott.
Present.
Councillor Hood.
Present.
Councillor Hoskins.
Present.
Councillor Hudson. Councillor King.
Present.
We've had apologies from Councillor McDermott, substituted by Councillor Davis.
Present.
Councillor Oakley. Councillor Palmer.
Present.
Councillor Tanner.
Present.
And Councillor Thornywell.
Present.
I can confirm we have 17 voting members in the chamber this evening, Chair.
Thank you for that. I'd now like to have the officers introduce themselves, starting with those in the room, please.
Start.
Alison Paris, Principal Democratic Services Officer.
Good evening, Chair. Robert Stiles, Director of Street Scene, Leisure and Technical Services.
Good evening, Darren Lanes. I'm the Head of Street Scene and Leisure.
Good evening, Chair. Adrian Stanfield, Director of Central Services.
Good evening, everyone. Jill Fox, Corporate Policy and Communities.
Good evening, everybody. Paul Worden, Head of Finance.
Good evening, everyone. Jeremy Whittaker, Strategic Economic Regeneration Manager.
Good evening, Stuart Edwards, Head of Administrative and Property Services.
And good evening, Emma Wood, Chief Executive, GM Active.
Thank you. And officers online, are there any?
Good evening, Chair. Dean Radmore, Tunbridge Town Centre Programme Manager.
Thank you. And the two other gentlemen, one from Alliance Leisure.
Yep, good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Ferry from Alliance Leisure.
Our quantity surveyor, I think. Alistair?
Sorry, I'm muting myself. Good evening. Yeah, I'm Alistair Bliss from Varsity Consulting. We're the project managers and quantity surveyor appointed by Alliance Leisure and the Council for the Angel Leisure Centre project.
Thank you very much. And we've also got in the room our two cabinet members. Would they like to introduce themselves?
Good evening, Madam Chair and colleagues. Des Kears, Cabinet Member for Community Services.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Councillor Mehmet, Cabinet Member for Infrastructure and Tunbridge Regeneration. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go on to apologies. We've done those with, I think it was only Tim Bishop. And item 3, notification of substitute members. Councillor Dean is substitution for Councillor Bishop. Are there any declarations of interest? No, I don't see any hands up. Right. I'll go on to the minutes, pages 13 to 18, the last meeting. They're held on 26th of June 2025. Are they confirmed as the correct record? Thank you. Item 6, any executive decisions called in that I don't know about? No, thank you.
Confirm none have been called in.
No, thank you. And item 7, online, I think we've got Matt Borton, who's going to tell us all about South East Council's outside body update. So thank you, Matt. Go ahead.
Thank you, Anita. I'm sure this is why everyone's come tonight. Yes, I serve as the council's representative on South East Councils. The organisation does what it says on the tin, really, which is it's a collection of councils across the South East coming together to advocate for the role of local authorities across a number of different policy areas in the South East. We and all member councils contribute to it, and the work of South East Councils carries a couple of different strands. The first is, as I say, really to advocate nationally with regards to the needs of the South East, but also it acts as an umbrella organisation for some of the other partnerships, including the Migration Partnership, South East Strategic Partnership for Migration. That's a part of South East Councils. And the other aspect too is it runs the all-party parliamentary group for the South East in Parliament. Through that, it's produced a couple of reports, things like Tomorrow South East, and previous to that, Securing a Greater South East, really to try and get as much investment as possible. As always, happy to take any questions. Thank you.
That was brilliant. Thank you. But no one's got any questions for you. Sorry about that. So I think we'll thank you, Matt, for coming. And I think we'll go on to the matters for recommendation to the Cabinet. I want to propose a change to the running order on the grounds that the Angel Leisure Centre may be significantly long, or it might not. And as Jeremy Whitaker is the only officer not involved in that or the other agenda items, it gives him an opportunity to leave if he wishes after. It says here. May I have, so I'm proposing that. May I have a seconder for that? Yes. Right. And have I got everyone's agreement? Thank you. Okay, so we'll go on to that's item 9, annual service delivery plan. The agenda tonight is actually really interesting, and this is one of the interesting items. So fire away, Jeremy.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say a few words by way of introduction to this report. First thing I probably need to say is that Jill behind me will have the pleasure of leading on the annual service delivery plan going forward. And over the next few months, Jill and I will be working together on Q2 reporting as part of that handover. In terms of the report itself, this represents the first reporting cycle for the annual service delivery plan 25-26 and includes updates on a range of activities and performance indicators. In terms of presentation, following sort of feedback from members with regards to presenting the KPIs, I've included bases in addition to RAG rating to demonstrate level of progress, and I've also on this occasion introduced ticks for activities that have been completed. So that's just sort of trying to explain the thinking behind some of the presentation. Hopefully, as the reporting of the plan proceeds throughout the year, you'll see a number of ticks and hopefully smiley faces as well grow considerably. In terms of headline updates, there's been good progress on activities at this stage so far, with already in Q1 seeing a number of activities completed. There are a small number of red-rated activities within the plan, and these are mostly related to delays by central government and legislation. The key performance indicators are a bit more of a mixed bag at this Q1 stage, but there is still plenty of time to catch up. In total, 14 are red rated. Some are more long-standing matters, such as and supply and the gender pay gap, whereas some of the others are relatively new issues, some of which are where there's been very high performance in the past, which has taken a slight and hopefully a short-term dip. And this includes matters such as calls into the call centre and waste collection. This Q1 report aims to give members a useful overview of performance across the authority. And given that it is a slightly new format, any feedback on presentation would be much appreciated, as well as any content, so that we can then ensure that members do find. As I said, happy to take. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you, Jeremy. Tim Tanner.
Thank you, Jeremy. The report's a really easy read. It's good to have the RAG rating in the way it is. Thank you. Just one question. I'm a bit out of date now with where we are with Agile. Do we know if we're fully migrated back to the IDOC system, or did we have to take a further extension of the contract with Agile to allow for that? Thank you.
I think there's still work ongoing on it, but I probably am not the most knowledgeable in the room on that matter.
Do you want to come back?
Paul, do you know if we've had to pay for an extension? Thank you.
Not aware of any extension that has been paid, and since obviously the departure of the Sharon director, it's no longer under my purview, so I'm actually going to have to refer to Adrian.
The short answer is no, we haven't extended the contract. The work is ongoing. It's being project managed now through our transformation manager, and I think the project board notes are coming to management team next week on progress. So I'm pleased to say that we are on track with that. So we aren't complete, but the work is in hand.
Leato. Sorry,
just a quickie. Brilliant, love the report. Thank you very much. Just a little question. 49 activities are green rated at the end of Q1. 5 are completed. Can you just give me some assurance that it just doesn't mean we're backloading the year? Is it just that the other ones are going to take longer, but we've started them on time? I guess that's why they're green. But I just want to be sure, because 49 activities, 5 completed in the first quarter completed. So I'm sure there's good reasons, but I just wanted to check. Thank you.
Yes, you're right. It's that a lot of the activities will be completed. There's more in Q3 and 4 than there are in Q1. So it's still on track.
Thank you, Mark Hood.
Thank you very much, Chair. I've got a few. I've got at 4.2. It talks about the upgrades to the path around the Barden Lake, and I've been in correspondence with officers about that, because we had a new management plan, and the new management plan was incredibly detailed. What it didn't tell anybody was that we were going to have a new substrate used for the paths all the way around, and because we haven't got we don't have a functioning user group anymore. Myself and Councillor King we were on the user group and it's been replaced by a newsletter. And we had no indication that there was going to be this new subject. Can I have some kind of, are we going to expect to see tarmac going all the way around the lake, or is it going to be, is it going to remain in the corner where it is now, and we're going to have like a patchwork of different surfaces? That's my first question.
Through you, Chairman, I think the areas that where tarmac suffer the most, particularly flooding, that was the main reason. Catering. I will make sure that if we do further work, inevitably going to have to do that, we will.
Thank you very much, if I may. And then looking at 012 relates to fly tipping, and we know that I think I'm right in thinking that the fly tipping in Tunbridge Mooring increased by 13%. So we know we've got a problem over the last year. And then 014, it talks about the fixed penalty notices. There isn't a figure there, but we must know what the figure is from the previous quarter. Is there any way that we would be able to see a continuation, that we'd have any kind of indication of what the progress is there? And I've got a question about, obviously this council agreed quite hefty increases in the fines that are levied against people who are found to be fly tipping and to be littering. And apparently there's a cupboard somewhere which is full of signs with all of the new charges on them. Can I have some indication when the signs are going to be let out into the environment, and we're going to have them attached to posts so that people are aware?
Yes, through you, Chairman. I wasn't aware we had a cupboard full of signs, but thank you. If that is the case, I will look into it, and we will get those signs are available. We will get them up as soon as we can. I'll take that away, and also we are at the moment working through the data with our new contractor, Kingdom, because there is also now an income stream to the council, because those that have been paid, the council get 30% of the. There is a little bit of work that needs to be done on that. Once we've got that, I'm more than happy to have a out of meeting through you, Chairman, provide some data on our old contractors' performance, which would NEC, new contractor.
Thank you. And I've got the TPO 021 relating to tree preservation orders. I'm not sure how this is being monitored, because it says, I think it says it's green and it's looking happy, but from the correspondence that we all receive as members from the team, on to the 10th of July 2024, we had, I think, 64 outstanding ones, and now we've still got 64. So although we've got additional resources have gone into that, it's obviously something for outside the meeting, but it seems that despite those additional resources, we're still not making any progress. We're not making any inroads into that backlog. And then I've just got a very quick question about 11.2. It talks about and 11.1. It talks about the events at the castle and things like that. And the 11.2 is about the boards that we're going to get, the digital boards. So I'd just like an update about how many boards are we going to get, are going to be paid for? Because it says West Malling, I think, and Tunbridge, because we need to do a lot more to help the people at Tunbridge Castle with their events. Because I think some of the staff think they're fighting a battle with one arm tucked behind their back because they can't put any banners up. That's the messaging that I'm getting. They need some support.
If I could just give a quick update on the digital information board. during the course of the work that we've been undertaking, we've discovered that whilst we need to identify the location of the boards, in all likelihood, the boards aren't going to cost us anything, because in the same way that we have procured bus shelters through companies, they install them for free, and their profit is derived from the advertising revenue that they take for those boards. So whilst we haven't formally gone out to procurement yet for the digital boards, because where we are right now is we are talking to ACC, for example, about certain locations and whether or not they would have any objections to boards being in certain locations from a highway perspective. We need to come back through members first to agree the location of those boards before we go out to procurement.
Thank you.
Very quickly, Chair, this is in relation to what's just been said. I want to put a plea in to have one on the corner of Bank Street and the High Street to stop the parking that's continually happening there. But more importantly is the contract that we have with the is it Adshell for the bus stops. Whoever the company we have the current contract with, there's a problem. There's an anomaly with the contract because we haven't got any levers. So if a bus stop was out of action, as was the case in Tunbridge High Street, we couldn't put any pressure on that company to restore the. So if we are going to have an arrangement with another provider for those, it's important that we have some kind of a reassurance that if those sites are out of action, that we can compel them to bring them back into use within a short frame of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that information. Right, Dennis King.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to make a general point, really. I think some compliments, really, that the KPIs are all very pertinent and very straightforward. I think there was a general impression we'd end up with less. I'm not sure that we have. But I think we probably need to sort of focus a bit more on the reds and the ambers in some form of advanced report or something. So I think what's just illustrated is if one goes in asking too many questions over this range of KPIs, it's very difficult for the officers to answer that on the spot in the evening. So either we offer some questions in advance if possible, or that they are logged and they come back to us in another form, just a suggestion. But I'm just trying to get my brain around how some of it works. And Councillor Hood referred to the fly tipping, for example, which is KPI 12. And I was just trying to get my head around it. It says that we had 254 incidents in the first quarter. We got a target of 975. Sure, that isn't true. The target must be to have less than 975, I assume. But given it's such a whacking great difference, I know it says there's a trend, but why is it amber? Just so I can understand the thought process that goes into the traffic light system that you're working. Thank you.
Just solely on that one, and actually as a rule on the definition of amber, it's if it's going to be within 10%, or if it continues on a similar trajectory, if it's going to be within 10% of the target, but if it's going to miss it by 10%. So pretty much, I think 200. It's going to, if quarter one was the same as the rest of the quarters, it would just be over 1,000, wouldn't it? Which would be.
That's an annual target. It's not
that's
a
an annual target.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's cumulative. Yeah.
For you, Chairman, I think that's why some of them it's hard to judge until you get towards quarter three or four. And just if I could just observe, I think that suggestion it's very difficult to bring every officer across the whole of the services that we provide. And if members could give us those questions in advance, that would be really appreciated, and then we can actually bring the answers to the meeting.
Thank you, Anna Cope.
Hi there. I just had a question about number 44. Total number of reported victim-based crimes in the borough has gone up, and that's on track to meet the target. Can I just check, or is that right? Thank you. Sorry, because I thought that should go down if we were on track to meet our target, rather than like trying to have more of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the arrow up indicates an overall positive trend. You know, even one victim-based crime isn't great, but it's what it's showing is that the trend is positive and it's going to meet the target that's been set as things stand. And that's a cumulative. So don't know if that answers the question. So,
I can see no other hands up in the room, so I think we'll finish with the annual service delivery plan. And can I have I've proposed from the chair, and can I have a second, the general affirmation to agree the report? Oh, Sarah Hudson. Seconding. Thank you very much.
Agreed.
Yeah, is it agreed? Great, thank you. Right, I was thinking about other things. Right, so finish with that. Jeremy, if you wanted to pop off, that's okay. Thank you. Right, and we will continue on with item 8. Item 8, Angel Leisure Centre replacement project. And I'll invite Darren to introduce the report, and then I'll have a chat after. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, as the report highlights, this is an update report on the Angel Centre project. This is obviously following an all-member presentation that took place relatively recently. And what we have done is we provided that all-member presentation at Annex 1. Wasn't intending to go through that entire presentation. I think it took us a couple of hours last time to do that. But as highlighted in section 4 of the report, there are some kind of updates on progress since that presentation. In specific regard to the public engagement exercise, at the time of writing this, you'll see in the report there was 750 responses. We're now exceeding 1,000, which is really positive and is showing true engagement in the exercise. We've also been notified that there's been 19,000 hits on our website, and also through our social stats, that's up at 17,000 as well. So it looks like this is reaching people, and people are certainly engaging with the project. And we've still got time. There's still got time. There's another 2 weeks to go until the end of that public engagement exercise. You'll see it 4.2. We've also taken an update through to the Tunbridge Community Forum last week, and myself and Councillor Mehmet gave a presentation there. Again, that was we wanted to increase the awareness of the project, and also particularly increase the awareness of the engagement process that we're going through with the public at the current time. We think that the chair is here tonight, so she'll agree with me if I'm wrong, but I think the presentation was well received, and there were no significant issues raised by the forum at that time. Also, just to highlight within the report before we move on to questions is at 4.4, and that's the selection of the main contractor. This is happening alongside REBA Stage 2. And you'll see there that members previously were very keen on us actually being involved in some of these procurements, and particularly this main procurement of the building contractor. Although this is being done by Alliance, we are certainly involved in that process. It's been through our procurement team, and also officers and members will be involved in the interviews with the shortlisted companies, and will be involved in the selection of those contractors. Finally, before I pass back, I'll just say that we have got the full project team here tonight as well. So both officers here, and we've got our consultants online. So hopefully, if there are any questions that you do have, hopefully we will be fully able to answer them tonight. Hopefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Darren. I'd like to draw everyone's attention to the supplement and ask if anyone has questions on it. It would be in part 2 if they did have, and we're quite happy to go into part 2. But Has anyone got any general questions they want to ask first? David Thornewell.
Just really want to make some observations. I'm going to zoom towards the end of the main report concerning the risk assessment. Paragraph 8.1, the key risks, and the risk that I see cutting both ways. My view is that once we go to have a unitary authority here, they are not going to have the same feelings for the Leisure Trust, nor the facilities in this borough that we have, because their interests are going to be spread over a vast area. Coupled with that, as I understand it, the government are likely to introduce some controls on borrowing, because they won't want these new authorities set up already facing to take on the county debt to take on more debts. And I was here when all this happened before, back in '74, and I remember such controls were introduced then. Am I right in thinking this is likely, and do we have a timetable? And then going on from that is a more general question, and I'm quite happy to do it in private if you want to, am I right in thinking that it's intended the Leisure Trust will end up paying for the repayments on any borrowing? So therefore, looking to the future, it's going to be longer than when local government reorganisation takes place. And I don't want any fear that the Leisure Trust won't be able to pay the borrowing. And as I say, a new unitary authority is unlikely to regard them as kindly as we do.
Thank you. I think the first question is okay to be answered, but the second question would be in part two. If you'd like to answer the first question.
Through you, Chairman, Councillor Thornewell talked about the government, in effect, stopping the ability to borrow. Funny, because we look at many facilities were built in 1974, including our own golf course. So there was a lot of investment at that time. But you're absolutely right, and we have basically looked at the timescale very carefully. And if you look at the timescale within the presentation, we're anticipating what we think that date may be, making sure that we have actually pressed the button on advance of that. And that does create quite a pressure on the timescale, quite a pressure on decision making. And that's why we've been approaching this through having a programme board, through decisions through cabinet members, because there is a danger that if we don't hit those deadlines, then we won't be having a replacement facility at all.
Why I refer to it as a double-edged sword, because it seems to me, if the council wants to get this project through, it's really got to get its skates on. For the same reason, if it's not done, it's unlikely to be done once local government reorganisation takes place.
Just again, I think it is a really, really important point that making, and it is a significant risk, and that's why the team have been progressing proactively as they have, and the decision making reflects that within it.
Thank you. I've got three speakers, one of which is Matt Borton, who may want to comment on David's comments. So I'll take him first. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anita. It was just on the reorganisation aspect of this. I do agree with David's analysis of it. The one thing I would just point out, though, is that, as Robert said, the timetable has fit around what we know about the government's intentions on reorganisation. And that's based off government guidance that's been given to us and all other councils. With respect to the picture around West Kent, because obviously the two options for that effectively left in the mix on local government reorganisation have the same geography for us. Tunbridge would be the third largest settlement by population within that geography, and we know from Sevenoaks, Tunbridge, Wells, and Maidstone that each of them have got issues, just like we've got with buildings. They've got the same issues too, and are looking at different solutions depending on the nature of those buildings. So I think it's fair to say that the timetable for reorganisation has to drive a lot of the timetable for this particular project.
Thank you, Matt. I've got Kim Tanner next.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sure everyone would be disappointed if I didn't have any questions on this one. Firstly, I wonder if we know how many of the responses to the public consultation come from outside of Tunbridge. It is residents from the whole borough that are contributing to the cost of this, and I'd just be interested to know if, firstly, if we've tried to reach them specifically, because I guess they're not looking at individual news bites about Tunbridge when they live possibly 20 miles away. So I'd just be interested to know if any of the responses come from residents outside of Tunbridge. Secondly, I think you've already posed a question, Chair, about details of where the additional income is going to come from, and I'd like to know that as well. But also, I couldn't see in the report any referral to the loss of investment income that we will suffer as a result of spending huge amounts of money. Yeah, I realise it's part 2, but I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Very much. Right, so we probably will go into part 2, but I'll take Anna Cope and Lee Athwell first.
Oh, thank you. I might be able to provide a very natural segue between the two things, if that's possible, because I have one on the first part and one on part 2. Would that be acceptable as you're talking about a transition?
Yes, if you just do the first part and wait until we go into part 2 for the second.
Okay, sorry, it seemed a natural bridge, but I will leave it for the moment. I wanted to highlight a concern about space for communities. I don't know if everyone's seen the feedback from Tunbridge Civic Society, which also raises that concern that it is seeming very much to be a concentration on leisure facilities and not the dual purpose that we were sort of assured it would be. If it's really going to be an asset for the community, it needs to serve the community, not just people who are undertaking sporting or some of the physiotherapy or other sort of almost medicalized services there, but for groups to meet and to hire spaces. And I just wondered whether we are really keeping that at the forefront. Thank you.
I mean, yes. I mean, the within the brief, within the proposed facility mix at the present time, custom shared through the programme board, community side of it is being provided for. There are within the mix 3 very significant community rooms which are shared use. So there's a real flexibility for that. The main sports hall will also be available. And I think as well, it's that I don't think we've helped ourselves in the past by way it's always been sports side, because a lot of those uses of sports hall are actually by community groups. They're from preschool bounce, they're for trampoline clubs, they're for badminton, and those are community use. So I think when we come back to the programme board and then through cabinet, hopefully be assured that has been taken into.
Thank you, Lee Athwell.
I'm probably going to, it's probably part 2, but I'll just quickly say one little tiny thing. Thank you so much for coming to the community forum. It really was very, very much appreciated. There was one question that did come up at the forum, which is also something that I think is one of the questions you asked in the supplementary bit. So I probably need to leave it to part 2, but I would just like to put that in there. Definitely, and a few people have spoken to me about it since the forum. So it was great.
Thank you. We're still in part one, Mark. You're next.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd just like to follow up with what Councillor Cope was saying about the community aspect of it, because I remember when the Angel Centre first appeared, and it was very much community and leisure centre. And I think over the last few years, that has changed significantly. When I was in my late teens, there were bands and all sorts of the scope of activities there was incredible. They used to have roller discos. The Stone Roses came to play. Primal Scream played there. It was amazing, and that is obviously things have changed as population's changed and the use of it's changed, and since the Leisure Trust has taken control of the management, it changed as well. So there's been a detrimental effect, I believe, on the offer for community facilities. The bar area is out of order, out of action rather. It no longer takes bookings for social events, and I think it's really exciting that you've got a proposal that does bring back some of this community stuff. You've got a cafe there, which is good. You've got soft play, potentially tag active. So there's a lot of potential here. Following on from what was said by Councillor Thornywell, my personal belief is if this doesn't happen within the time frame that's available, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think this is an opportunity we have to get it right, and getting and having that, making sure that it's a community and leisure centre, or that is absolutely key to restoring faith in local people that this is going to be a success. I'm very pleased to see Emma here tonight, and I've heard good things about the way that the Leisure Trust is approaching this, so that we know that part of its remit is to deliver community use, but we need it to be at the maximum rather than the minimum from now on.
Thank you. I've got no other speakers for part one. So, I have Kim Tanner.
Thank you, Chair. I just wondered if anyone had an answer to my question about the number of residents outside of Tunbridge that answered the public consultation. Thank you.
The reassuring answer is yes, we will be able to tell where people come from. We need to get to the end of that survey, which I think is a couple of weeks, and then we will share that information with you. And if that's a particular question you want an early answer to, I'm more than happy to provide that. Yeah.
Can you tell us the end date of the consultation?
The 24th of September. The other thing is that one of the main requests that came from the all-member briefing was around making sure that was advertised as widely as possible, and we therefore have had at the Tunbridge swimming pool and also at the castle had the ability for people to fill that in by hand for those people that aren't so play self with technology. And actually, we're even putting some posters up around the town this week, end of this week, in order to advertise it. So I think, particularly, I think bearing in mind what Darren's already said about the number of people that responded, I think we are getting people.
Back on that, Kim.
Please, Chair. But how about posters elsewhere in the borough? Because these people are paying for it, just the same as Tunbridge residents are. Should we not be encouraging them to respond?
Through you, Chairman, if you wish, for example, these to be advertised, say at Larkfield Leisure Centre, and those, we will get our skates on. I think probably some people are asking for an ice rink, and we will put that out. Yep, happy to do that.
We have a slight extension to give people a chance to respond. Seems a little bit unfair that they're paying equally.
I think if we respond quickly now to your request, I think there will be added.
I hope so.
Thank you. Right, now I think all the questions have been asked for section one, for the part one. And Mike Taylor, Sorry, nearly missed you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Just a quick one. Is it possible to send a PDF of this request to consult out to parishes so that it can go in local websites and things like that? I haven't seen anything in Borough Green. Thank you.
This is being done by our media and comms colleagues. We think that has been done to parish council. If it hasn't, we will do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent point. Right, we're still in part one. I'm going to propose to move into part two so that exempt information can be discussed. May I have a seconder for that? Everyone. And can I have general affirmation? Thank you. I think there are probably questions that everyone would like to ask our three guests initially. And I'd propose that we ask them questions and then have a ask them to leave politely, and but still stay in part two, and so that we can have an in-depth discussion on whatever it is we want to discuss. But to do overview and scrutiny, the angel. Not go yet.
Just to confirm, I'm stopping the recording to move into part two.